He relies on me.
Following consultations with the clerk of Parliament, it is proposed to issue the tablets to members of Parliament on Friday. And for those administrative matters, we shall convene a meeting in Committee Room 1 after tomorrow's sitting, immediately after tomorrow's sitting, to resolve those administrative matters. That will lay the foundation for the issuance of the tablets on Friday. Thank you very much. We may now proceed with the report. And I give the floor to the chairperson of the Legislative Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Seventh report of the Legislative
Point of order, sir. You need to invite the minister to take this seat, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, he's here.
he's here, okay. Where are the clerks? They've been silent. Why didn't you announce the item? When? I did not hear you.
I did.
Is it?
Seventh report of the Legislative Committee, fifth session of the Fifth Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone on the bill entitled Local Government Act 2021, presented to Parliament on Thursday, 28 July 2022. Subsequently, the committee met on Friday, 21st and Monday, 24th October in Committee Room Number 1 of Parliament Building with the following objectives: to scrutinize in detail the principles and provisions of the bill and to make amendments if necessary, to ascertain the constitutional and legal.
I will ask you to retire to the members' lounge, which is just outside the well here. If your presence is required again in the well, you'll be duly informed. We are not asking you to go away, but we're asking you to retire to the members.
The Local Government Act 2022. The long title of the bill will be approved.
The fact that when we went through, you'll be taking us through the bill again. So it will say preliminaries are stated at 2 establishment of locality.
I would have considered to that proposal, but not every member
I think all of us
sees of the report.
All of us have the report.
Do you
So
have?
you don't have it. You have the soft copy.
Do all of you have the report?
Yes. You don't have. Huh? Huh?
It's in the system.
Check your system.
No, check photo page 2, page 3.
Go to the side. It's there.
Because one
Okay. You may try to abbreviate as much as you can and finish the report.
Will surely not disappoint, Mr. Chairman. Part 1, preliminary, as stated. Part 2, establishment of the localities and local councils, as stated. Part 3, composition of local councils and election of councillors as stated.
So remember the key areas, please draw the attention of the House. The key recommendations you are making.
Noted, Mr. Chairman, but like it's almost every other is very, very important.
Mr. Chairman, I really don't want to go against what my deputy said, but there's so much amendment in the interpretation. So much amendment. So for me, for the ease of preference and understanding of what they have done, just allow him to read. If we cannot complete today, we have tomorrow, we can continue. Yeah. Now, if you say state time,
I certainly share that view. Lawmaking is a tedious business. Let us accept that. And there are some laws that do take up time. And rather than rush through the bill and make mistakes, let us take our time and do it properly. So I'm inclined to agree with the leader of government business. So, sorry, we like to hear the sound of your voice. So, please, do us the favor.
The word chairperson be amended by replacing it with the phrase district council chairman to now read. District council chairman means the person elected in accordance with section 11 and includes the mayor in the case of city or municipal council. The definition of the word commission be amended by replacing the figure 6 with the figure 9 to now read. Commission means the local government service commission established under section 39. Part 2, establishment of localities and local councils. Clause 2, subclause 2.
Where are you?
Hold on, Mr. Speaker.
This definition is not proper.
Let's wait for him to finish.
Okay. Yeah, the definition.
Where are you? Which page?
page 3.
Now in page 3, Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
part 2, establishment of localities and local councils. Clause 2, subclause 2, creation of localities
Very well.
be amended by replacing the phrase National Electoral Commission with the phrase Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone to now read. The President may, for the purpose of this act and acting on the recommendation of the Minister responsible for finance and the Commissioner for the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone by statutory instrument. This amendment should be made wherever the phrase National Electoral Commission appears. Clause 3, incorporation of local councils be approved. Part 3, composition of local councils and election of councillors. Clause 4, subclause 1A, composition of local councils be amended by replacing the word chairperson with the phrase district council chairman. Clause 4, subclause 1, composition of local councils be amended by inserting a new subparagraph B to read Deputy District Council Chairman. Subparagraph B now becomes C. C now becomes D. D now becomes E. E now becomes F. F now becomes G. New subparagraph F be amended by replacing the word headman with the word headmen to now read 4 tribal headmen without voting rights. And clause 5, period for elections be approved. Clause 6, qualification and disqualification of councillors be approved. Clause 7, tenure of office of councillors. Side note of clause 7 be amended by inserting the word for after the word office to now read tenure of office for councillors. Clause 8, oath to be taken by councillors. Side note of clause 8 be amended by inserting the word by after the word taken to now read oath to be taken by councillors. Clause 9, subclause 1C, vacancy in seats of councillors be amended by replacing the figure 2 with the figure 4. Clause 10, filling of vacancies be amended by replacing the phrase National Electoral Commission with the phrase Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone to now read, whenever a vacancy occurs among the elected councillors, a by-election shall be held by the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone to fill such vacancy within 90 days of the occurrence of the vacancy. But if the vacancy occurs within a period of 6 months before the end of the tenure of office of the elected councillor, no by-election shall be held. Clause 11, subclause 1, chairperson, side note of clause 11, be amended by replacing the word chairperson with the phrase election of the district council chairman. Clause 11, subclause 1, Election of the district council chairman be amended by replacing the word chairperson with the phrase district council chairman to now read, there shall be a district council chairman for each local council who shall be elected by universal adult suffrage by voters of the locality and shall be head of the local council. Clause 11, subclause 3 and 4, chairperson be amended to become the new clause 12, subclause 1 and 2, with the new side note to read, functions of the district council chairman. New clause 12, subclause 2, functions of the district council chairman be amended by deleting subparagraph C. Clause 11, subclause 5 be amended to become new clause 13 with the new side note to read, vacancy of the office of the district council chairman. New clause 13a, vacancy in the office of the district council chairman be amended by replacing the word chairperson with the phrase district council chairman. This amendment should be effected wherever the word chairperson appears. New clause 13d, vacancy in the office of the district council chairman be amended by replacing the phrase death or with the word life and replacing the word violence with the phrase sexual penetration to now read, if the district council chairman is sentenced to life imprisonment for an offense involving fraud, dishonesty, or sexual penetration. Previous clause 12, removal of district council chairman be amended by renumbering it to become clause 14. Clause 14, subclause 1, removal of district council chairman be amended by replacing the phrase the local council by a with the phrase a council to now read, subject to subsection 2, a district council chairman may be removed from office by a council resolution supported by 2/3 of the councilors on any of the following grounds. Clause 14, subclause 4, removal of the district council chairman be amended by replacing the word funding after the word its with the word findings to now read, within 7 days after receipt of the notice under subsection 3, the Chief Justice shall set up a panel comprising a Justice of the High Court and 2 other persons to investigate the allegations contained in the notice and to report its findings on whether or not there is a prima facie case for the removal of the district council chairman. Previous clause 13, deputy chairperson be amended by renumbering it to become clause 15. Clause 15, deputy chairperson, side note of clause 14, be amended by replacing the phrase deputy chairperson with the phrase deputy district council chairman. Clause 15, subclause 1, deputy district council chairman be amended by replacing the phrase deputy chairperson with the phrase deputy district council chairman to now read, there shall be a deputy district council chairman for each local council who shall be elected as running mates to the district council chairman by universal adult suffrage by voters of the locality. This amendment should be effective wherever the phrase deputy chairperson appears. Part 4, meetings and committees of local councils. Previous clause 14, meetings of councils, now becomes clause 16. Clause 16, subclause 1, meetings of council be amended by inserting the phrase on rotational basis immediately after the word month to now read, a local council shall hold ordinary meetings at least once every month on rotational basis at such time as the district council chairman may determine. Clause 16, subclause 3, meetings of council be amended by deleting the word any and inserting the phrase in its absence a immediately after the word or to now read, the district council chairman or in his absence, the deputy district council chairman or in his absence, a councillor appointed by the councillors from among themselves shall preside at meetings of the council. Clause 16, subclause 6, meetings of council be amended by inserting the phrase with voting rights after the word council at the end of the sentence. Previous clause 15, use of language now becomes clause 17. Previous clause 16, standing orders now becomes clause 18. Previous clause 17, minutes now becomes 19. Previous clause 18, committees of local council now becomes clause 20. Clause 20, committees local council, side note of clause 20 be amended by inserting the word of after the word committees to now read committees of local council. Clause 20, subclause 2, committees of local council be amended by inserting a new subparagraph D to read audit committee. Part 5, functions of local councils and councillors. Previous clause 19, functions of local council now becomes clause 21. Clause 21, subclause 1C, functions of local council be amended by inserting a new subparagraph, Roman figure 1, to read own source. Previous subparagraph, Roman figure 1 now becomes 2. Previous 2 now becomes 3, previous 3 now becomes 4. Clause 21, subclause 1, C3, previous subclause 1, C2, functions of local council be amended by inserting the word non-governmental after the word international to now read national and international non-governmental organizations. And clause 21, sub-clause 2J, functions of local council, be amended by inserting the phrase submitted through the district officer at the end of the sentence to now read, approve the annual budgets of chiefdom councils and oversee the implementation of the budget. And honorable members, Mr. Chairman, please add submitted through the district officer as stated in the report. Previous clause 20, local councils to delegate functions, now becomes clause 22. 21, ministry to formulate policies becomes 23, 22 becomes 24, 23 becomes 25, 24 becomes 26, 25 becomes 27, 26 cooperation becomes 28, 27 becomes 29, 28 becomes 30. Clause 30, duties of councillors, be amended by inserting a new subparagraph E to read, monitoring of projects in his ward through the Ward Development Committee and make recommendations for the attention of the local council. Previous clause 29, remuneration, now becomes clause 31. Clause 31, subclause 1B, remuneration, be amended by inserting the phrase salaries, allowances, benefits, pensions, and gratuities from the consolidated fund as determined by the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Local Government. After the word paid and the phrase remuneration as the local council may determine be deleted to now read, district council chairman and deputy district council chairman shall be paid salaries, allowances, benefits, pensions, and gratuities from the consolidated fund as determined by the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Local Government. Part 6, staff of local councils and establishment of local government service commission. Previous clause 30, chief administrator, now becomes clause 32. Clause 32, subclause 2, chief administrator, it should be amended by inserting a new subparagraph D to read, technical advisor to the local council in consultation with relevant professionals. Previous clause 31, staff of the local council, now becomes clause 33. Previous clause 32, appointment advisory committee, now becomes clause 32. Clause 34, subclause 2, appointment advisory committee, be amended to read, A, 2 commissioners, one of whom shall be the chairman, appointed by the commission. B, a representative of Public Service Commission, not below the rank of a commissioner. C, a representative of the Human Resource Management Office, not below the rank of a director. D, a representative of the ministry, not below the rank of a director. And E, 2 representatives of local council, chief administrator, and chairman of the establishment committee. Clause 34, subclause 4, appointment advisory committee, be deleted. Clause 33 becomes clause 35. Clause 34 becomes clause 36. 35 becomes 37. 36 becomes 38. 37 becomes 39. 38 becomes 40. 39 becomes 41. 40 becomes 42. 41 becomes 43. Clause 43, remuneration, be amended by replacing the phrase members of the commission with the phrase the chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of section 41 to now read, the chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of section 41 shall be paid remuneration determined by the minister after consultation with the minister responsible for finance. Clause 42 now becomes 44, 43 becomes 45, 44 becomes 46, 45 becomes 47, 46 becomes 48. Part 7, financial matters. Previous clause 47, finance, now becomes clause 49. Clause 49, subclause 3, finance, be amended by replacing 46 with 49, 47 with 50, and 48 with 51 to now read, grants shall be provided to the local council in accordance with sections 49, 50, and 51. Previous clause 48, grants be deleted. Previous clause 49, devolved services, be deleted. Previous clause 51, grants for local council, now becomes clause 50. Previous clause 54, grants for local council administrative costs, now becomes 51. Clause 51, subclause 3, grants for local council administrative costs, be amended by deleting subclause 3. Previous clause 50, distribution of grants, now becomes clause 52. Clause 52, distribution of grants, be amended by deleting the phrase of the after the word tied to now read, the allocation of each tied grants for devolved services shall be recommended to the local government finance committee by the ministry responsible for the function that is subject of a tied grant and shall be based on principles of equity. Previous clause 52, grants for devolved services, now becomes clause 53. Previous clause 53, basis of distribution of grants, now becomes clause 54. Clause 55, appeal is approved. Clause 56, subclause 1, mode of payment be amended by replacing the word monthly with the word quarterly to now read, payment shall be made to the local council on a quarterly basis, subject to the local council's compliance with conditions attached to previous payment by the ministry responsible for finance. Clause 57, subclause 1A, finance committee be amended to read, a senior representative each not below the level of director from the ministry responsible for finance, and the ministry responsible for development. And clause 57, subclause 1B, finance committee be amended to read, 5 other persons from each region with considerable knowledge of public finance appointed by the minister, one of whom shall be chairman. Clause 57, finance committee be amended by deleting subclauses 2, 3, 4, and 5. A new clause 58 be inserted with 5 new subclauses and a new side note to read, meetings of the finance committee. New clause 58, subclause 1, meetings of the finance committee be inserted to read, the committee shall meet for the dispatch of its business at least once every quarter and at such time as the chairman may determine. New clause 58, subclause 2, meetings of the finance committee be inserted to read, the chairman shall preside at every meeting of the committee, if present, and in his absence, members of the committee present shall appoint a member from among themselves to preside at that meeting. 58, subclause 3, be inserted to read, the local government finance committee may co-opt other persons it deems necessary to assist it in the performance of its duties. 58.4, be inserted to read, the quorum at any meeting of the committee shall be 3. 58.5, meetings of the finance committee be inserted to read, subject to this section, the local government finance committee shall regulate the procedure for its meetings. Previous clause 58, tenure of office for members of finance committee now becomes clause 59. Clause 59, subclause 1, tenure of office for members of finance committee be amended by deleting the word be before the appointed. Clause 59, subclause 2, tenure of office of members of finance committee be amended by replacing the word president with the word minister and deleting the phrase through the minister to now read, any member of the local government finance committee other than ex-official member may resign his office in writing addressed to the minister. Clause 59, subclause 3, tenure of office for members of finance committee be amended by deleting the phrase notify the president in writing of the occurrence of the vacancy, and the president with the approval of parliament shall to now read, where the office of a member of the local government finance committee other than an ex-official member becomes vacant through death, resignation, or any other cause before the expiration of that member's term of office, the minister shall appoint another person in the place of that member to hold office for the unexpired term of office of that member. Clause 59, subclause 4, tenure of office for members of finance committee be deleted. Clause 59, subclause 5, tenure of office for members of finance committee be amended by replacing the word commission with the word committee to now read, a member of the local government finance committee other than an ex-official member who is absent from 3 consecutive ordinary meetings of the committee without reasonable cause shall cease to be a member. A new clause 60 be inserted with the new side note to read, functions of the local government finance committee. New clause 60, functions of the local government finance committee be inserted to read, the local government finance committee shall A, attend local council monthly meetings, B, visit local councils to follow up on implementation of the board functions and challenges therein, C, review draft budgets of all local councils to ascertain compliance with budgets called circular, D, perform any other function as may be determined by the Ministry of Finance. Previous clause 59, remuneration now becomes clause 61. Clause 61, remuneration be amended by inserting the phrase, the chairman and other, before the word members, and inserting the phrase appointed under subparagraph B of section 57, after the word committee. The chairman and other members of the local government finance committee appointed under subparagraph B of section 57 shall be paid such remuneration as shall be determined by the minister after consultation with the minister responsible for finance. Previous clause 60, a grant allocation now becomes 62. Clause 62, a grant allocation be amended by deleting the phrase responsible for finance to now read, recommend to the minister the amount of grant allocations to each local council, and previous clause 61 now becomes 63, 62 becomes 64. 64D, fees be amended by inserting the word other before the word services to now read, other services provided by the councils. Previous clause 63, surcharges now becomes 65. 64, sharing of revenues now becomes 66. Clause 66, sharing of revenues be amended by deleting the phrase "and from mining revenues" at the first line of the sentence and inserting the phrase "under the supervision of the ministry" after the phrase "chiefdom council" to now read "revenue raised from local taxes other than those collected by the government shall be shared between the local councils and the chiefdom councils under supervision of the ministry." Previous clause 65, local taxes, now becomes clause 67. Clause 67, subclause 1A, local taxes, be amended by inserting the phrase "subject to the approval of the minister" immediately after the word "locality" to now read 3 months before the end of each financial year, determine the amount of local tax to be paid during the forthcoming financial year by every person liable to pay the tax within each locality, subject to the approval of the minister. And Clause 67, subclause 4, local taxes, be amended by inserting the phrase "subject to the approval of the minister" immediately after the word "year" to now read "the tax rate shall be reviewed every 2 years, subject to the approval of the minister." Previous clause 66, mining revenue, now becomes 68. Clause 68, mining revenue, be amended by replacing the word "finance" with the word "mines," replacing the word "ministries" with the word "minister," and deleting the word "respectively" to now read "a local council shall be entitled to a share of revenue from mining activities determined by the ministry after consulting the minister responsible for mines and mineral resources." Previous clause 67, license, now becomes clause 69. Clause 69, license, be amended by inserting a new subclause 3 to now read "licenses issued under section 63 and 69 shall not be transferable." Previous subclause 3 now becomes subclause 4 and be amended by replacing the word "exceeding" with the phrase "less than" wherever it appears in the subclause, and replacing 5 million leons with 5,000 new leons to now read "a person required to hold the license referred to in this part, who upon demand being reasonably made by an authorized officer of the local council fails to produce his license for inspection, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to a fine not less than 5,000 new leons or to a term of imprisonment not less than 3 years, not less than 3 months, or to both the fine and imprisonment." Previous subclause 4 now becomes subclause 5 and be amended by replacing the word "exceeding" with the phrase "less than" wherever it appears in the subclause, and replacing 6 million with 5,000 new leons and replacing 6 months with 3 months to now read "a person who without the appropriate license does anything for which a license is required under this part, or who being the holder of a license issued under this part contravenes any of the conditions contained in the license, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to a fine not less than 5,000 new leons or to a term of imprisonment not less than 3 months, or to both fine and imprisonment." Previous subclause 5 now becomes subclause 6 and be amended by inserting the phrase "contravene subsection 3" after the word "license" and before the word "commit," and replacing 6 million leons with 6,000 new leons, replacing the word "exceeding" with the phrase "less than" wherever it appears in the subclause to now read "a person who lets out, hires, lends, or borrows a license, or who not holding a valid license produces, exhibits, or uses a license contravenes subsection 3, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to a fine not less than 6,000 new leons or to a term of imprisonment not less than 6 months, or to both the fine and imprisonment." Previous subclause 6 now becomes clause 7 and be amended by replacing the figures 4 or 5 with figures 5 or 6. 68 now becomes 70. 69 now becomes 71. 70 now becomes 72. 71 now becomes 73. 72 now becomes 74. 73 now becomes 75. 74 now becomes 76. Part 8, property rates. Previous clause 75, property rates, now becomes clause 77. Previous clause 76, assessment, buildings, and lands, now becomes clause 78. Clause 78, assessment, buildings, and lands. Side note of clause 78 be amended by inserting the word "of" after the word "assessment" to now read "assessment of buildings and lands." Clause 78b, assessment of buildings and lands, be amended by replacing the word "uses" with the word "used" to now read buildings used as public hospitals and clinics. Previous clause 77, establishment of valuers and assessment committee, now becomes clause 79. Clause 78 now becomes 80. Clause 79 now becomes 81. Clause 80 now becomes 82. Clause 81 now becomes 83. Clause 82 now becomes 84, 83 now becomes 85, 84 now becomes 86. Clause 86, refusal to pay rates, be amended by replacing the word 20 with the word 90 after the word within at the end of the sentence. Previous clause 85, insufficient amount, now becomes clause 87. Clause 87, subclause 1, insufficient amount, be amended by deleting the phrase of the building at the end of the sentence. Clause 87, subclause 2, insufficient amount, be amended by replacing the word 20 with the word 90 to now read, where the occupier of the building fails to pay the amount within 90 days, the bailiff shall levy the warrant on the movable property of the occupier. Clause 87, subclause 5, insufficient amount, be deleted. Previous clause 86, sale of building, now becomes clause 88. Part 9, accounts and audits. Previous clause 87, books of account, now becomes clause 89. Clause 89, subclause 2, books of accounts, be amended by replacing the word 6 with the word 3 after the word within. Previous clause 88, auditor general surcharge, now becomes 90. 89 now becomes 91. Part 10, internal audit. Clause 90 now becomes 92. Part 11, 91 now becomes 93, 92 becomes 94, 93 becomes 95, 94 becomes 96, 95 becomes 97. Clause 97, development of plans to be compatible. Side note of clause 97 be amended by deleting the letter R from the word compatible to now read development of plans to be compatible. Part 12, local economic government development. Part 12 be amended by replacing the word economic with the word government and government with the word economic, vice versa, to now read local government economic development. Previous clause 96, local economic development, now becomes clause 98. Part 13, bylaws. Previous clause 97, bylaws, now becomes clause 90. Clause 99. Clause 99, subclause 2A, bylaws, be amended by deleting the last 3 zeros from the figures 5 million to now read specify as a penalty a fine not exceeding 5,000 new leos or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months or both fine and imprisonment. Clause 99, subclause 29B, bylaws be amended by deleting the last 3 zeros from the figures 100,000 new leos to now read in the case of a continued offense, specify a further penalty not exceeding 100 new leons for each day on which the offense is continued after written notice has been served on the offender. Clause 98 now becomes 100. Clause 99 now becomes 101. Clause 101, subclause 3B, validity of bylaws, be amended by deleting the phrase to be signed by the chairperson at the end of the sentence to now read, not inconsistent with the Constitution, this act or other enactment, he shall certify accordingly and return the bylaw to the local council. Clause 101, subclause 4, validity of bylaws, be amended by deleting the phrase after signature by the chairperson to now read, a bylaw shall be laid before Parliament in accordance with subsection 7 of section 170 of the Constitution and shall be published in the Gazette in a newspaper circulating in the locality, broadcast on a local radio and posted in all wards. Previous clause 100, copy of bylaws to be available at local council offices now becomes clause 102. Previous clause 101, bylaws local customs now becomes clause 103. Clause 103, bylaws local customs, side note of clause 103 be amended by inserting the word altering before the word local to now read bylaws altering local customs. Part 14, ward committees. Previous clause 102 now becomes 104. 103 now becomes 105. Clause 105, subclause 1F, functions of ward committees be deleted. Part 15, responsibilities of the ministry. Previous clause 104, ministry to inspect and monitor local councils now becomes clause 106. 105 now becomes clause 107. 106 now becomes clause 108. Clause 108, subclause 1A, approval of agreements be amended to read, contains all the term and conditions required by the interministerial committee established under section 122 and shall approve such agreement or arrangement. Previous clause 107, president to take over administration and local council now becomes clause 109. A new clause 110 be inserted with new clauses and with the side note to read, District Development Coordination Committee, clause 110 subclause 1 District Development Coordination Committee be inserted to read. There shall be established in each district of Sierra Leone a committee to be known as the District Development Coordination Committee. Clause 110 subclause 2 District Development Coordination Committee be inserted to read. The District Development Coordination Committee shall consist of A. The District Council Chairman of local council who shall serve as chair and mayor serving as co-chair to meetings of the committee for districts with 2 local councils. B. The chief administrator. C. The development planning officer who shall be secretary to the committee. D. Councilors of committees of council on development planning, budget and finance, agriculture, education, and health committee. Host paramount chief. Chairman District Council of Paramount Chiefs who shall serve as permanent members, and 2 other paramount chiefs serving in rotational capacity for localities with the system of paramount chieftaincy. 4 headmen, 2 on permanent basis and 2 on rotational basis for the Western Area Rural District. 4 tribal headmen, 2 on a permanent basis and 2 on a rotational basis for Western Area Rural. Head of relevant departments of council. District functional head of key MDAs. 2 NGO representatives, 1 INGO and 1 NNGO. 1 representative each from non-state actors such as representatives from youth, women, PWD, CSO, media, district, budget oversight committee, and 2 religious representatives. Representative from key private sector operatives in the district. Co-opted technical person responsible for strengthening district development coordination. Clause 110 subclause 3 District Development Coordination Committee be inserted to read. There shall be a DDCC National Secretariat anchored at the ministry responsible for development and economic planning, with the development secretary serving as chair and the permanent secretary in the ministry responsible for local government as co-chair. The National Secretariat shall be the technical arm that coordinates the operations of the DDCC nationwide. There shall be a steering committee that provides general policy direction and oversight to ensure strengthening of development coordination at both national and local levels. A new clause 111 be inserted with a new side note to read functions of the District Development Coordination Committee. Clause 111 functions of the District Development Coordination Committee be inserted to read. The District Development Coordination Committee shall A. meet to discuss, report and follow up on all development interventions in the district. B. Monitor and track progress on the implementation of the district development plan. C. Identify issues that impede the implementation of the district development plan. D. Develop strategies to address impeding factors to district plan implementation. E. Facilitate development partner mapping and mirror progress made by sector working groups at district level. F. Coordination of NGOs, sectors, and partner intervention in the district. G. Coordinate district level planning and plan implementation. H. Enhance general development communication. I. Submit bi-monthly report to the ministry responsible for development and economic planning, ministry responsible for local government, and the regional coordinating committee on its activities. A new clause 112 being inserted with 3 subclauses and a new side note to read. Meetings. Clause 112 subclause 1 meetings being inserted to read. The District Development Coordination Committee shall meet once every 2 months at local council premises in districts where there are 2 local councils. Meetings shall be held on rotational basis. Clause 112 subclause 2 meetings being inserted to read. In the absence of the district council chairman or mayor, the deputy district council chairman or deputy mayor shall chair committee meetings. Clause 112 subclause 3 meetings being inserted to read. Subject to this part, the District Development Coordination Committee shall regulate the procedure for its meetings. This shall be consistent with its standard operating procedures. Previous clause 108 regional coordination meeting now becomes clause 113. Clause 113 subclause 2, the regional coordination meeting be amended by replacing the word province with the word region to now read. The local council chief administrator of each local council in the region but shall not have the right to vote. Previous clause 109 functions of regional coordinating committee now becomes 114. Previous 110 now becomes 115. Part 16 transparency, accountability and participation. 111 now becomes 116, 112 now becomes 117, 113 now becomes 118. Clause 118, inventories, be amended by replacing the word every with the letter A to now read, a local council shall take and cause to be maintained a comprehensive inventory of the assets of the council on an annual basis and shall submit it to the ministry. Previous clause 114, receipt now becomes 119. 119 sub clause 2, receipts, be amended by replacing the word exceeding with the phrase less than and replacing 10 million with 10,000 new leons to now read, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not less than 10,000 new leons or to a term of imprisonment not less than 3 years or to both fine and imprisonment. Previous clause 15, reports posted notice board now becomes clause 120. Clause 120, reports posted notice board. Side note of clause 120 be amended by inserting the word on before the word notice to now read, reports posted on notice board. Clause 120, subclause 1, reports posted on notice boards be amended by inserting the phrase quarterly basis on immediately after the word on and before the letter A to now read, local council shall post on quarterly basis on a notice board in a conspicuous place on the premises of the council and on a notice board in each ward for at least 21 days. A new subclause 3 be inserted to read, a local council that contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable to a fine of 20,000 new leons. Previous clause 116, participatory processes now becomes clause 121. Part 17, interministerial committee on decentralization. Previous clause 117, interministerial committee on local government and decentralization now becomes clause 122. Clause 122, subclause 2b, interministerial committee on local government and decentralization be amended by deleting the letter A from the word the to now read the minister. Previous clause 118, functions of interministerial committee now becomes clause 123. Previous clause 119, secretariat now becomes clause 124. Part 18, miscellaneous. Previous clause 120, legal proceedings now becomes 125. 125, subclause 2, legal proceedings be amended by deleting the word B to now read, the officer shall have the power to institute and carry on any proceedings which the council is authorized to institute subject to the directions of the council. Previous clause 121 now becomes 126. 122 becomes 127. 123 becomes 128. 124 becomes 129. 125 becomes 130. Clause 130, subclause 1c, service of notices be amended by replacing the word conscious with the word conspicuous and replacing the word is with the word if to now read, fixing it on a conspicuous part of the premises referred to under paragraph B if no one is found in the premises. Previous clause 126, Henry publication now becomes 131. 127 now becomes 132. Clause 132, inspection of documents be amended by replacing the word houses with the word house to now read, the documents required by this act to be open to inspection shall be opened during the normal working hours of the council without payment of any fees. 128 now becomes 133, 129 now becomes 134, 130 now becomes 135. Clause 135, subclause 1, entry on premises be amended by inserting the phrase within 7 days after the word officer and before the word to now read, the officers of a local council and any authorized person shall for any purpose referred to under this act have power to enter or examine any land or premises within the locality after a written notice has been delivered to the owner or occupier of the land or premises to permit the officers or authorized officer within 7 days to enter the land or premises for the purposes stated in the notice. Clause 131 now becomes 136. Clause 136, personal liability be amended to read, an officer or employee of any local council or any person acting on the directions of an employee or officer of any local council shall not be liable in respect of any matter or thing done by him in good faith under this act. Previous clause 132, general penalty now becomes clause 137. Clause 137, general penalty be amended by replacing 5 million leons with 5,000 leons and replacing the word exceeding with the phrase less than to now read, any person who commits an offense under this act for which no penalty is provided shall on conviction be liable to a fine not less than 5,000 new leons or to a term of imprisonment not less than 12 months or to both fine and imprisonment. Previous clause 133, offense by a body of persons now becomes clause 138. Clause 138, subclause 2, offense by a body of persons be amended by replacing the word no with the letter A to now read, the person shall be guilty of an offense under subsection 1 if he is able to prove that the act in respect of which he is charged was committed by some other person without his consent or connivance, and that he exercised all due diligence to prevent the commission of the offense, as he ought to have exercised, having regard to all the circumstances. Clause 134 be deleted. Clause 135 now becomes clause 139. Clause 136 now becomes clause 140. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the Legislative Committee, having scrutinized the bill entitled the Local Government Act 2021, recommend these proposals to the House for approval. The report reflects the consensus of honorable members of the committee. I therefore move that the House pass this bill entitled the Local Government Act 2021 through committee stage, third reading and into law. I thank you for your attention. Signed, Honorable Abdul S. Mari Conte, Chairman, Legislative Committee, 5th Session, 2022-2023.
Thank you and well done. Yes.
Parts 1 to 6, clauses 1 to 49 stand part of the bill.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I move that parts 1 to 6, clauses 1 to 46 stand part of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that parts 1 to 6, clauses 1 to 46 stand part of the bill. We shall now take up the bill and go through it page by page, starting with the short and long titles. Any amendment to the short title? Yes, delete, replace 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, 2022.
Long title remains unchanged.
Yes, be approved.
Page 2.
Page 2, we go to interpretation, Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes.
Means the Anti-Corruption Commission established by the Anti-Corruption Commission Act.
2008.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Any other?
And now, yes, we have chairperson. We amended by replacing it with the phrase district council chairman. Yes. Yes. Thank you. And so now the district council chairman means the person elected in accordance with section 11 and includes the mayor in the case of city or municipal council.
Okay, so the only thing is to insert district council.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
This council chairman instead of chairperson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But why did you change chairperson? Because it could be a woman.
This was a long debate, Mr. Chairman, with regards this title. Mr. Minister, Mr. General, what do you think?
That includes a woman. Is that it? Mr. Minister, over to you.
Stand up. Increase your height.
Mr. Speaker, the title still includes a woman. Chairman is universal.
No, chairperson is much
better.
No, chairman, even the Bible does not recognize.
One would have thought so until recently. Now there is an agitation by women that they are not men.
Mr. Speaker, they are not men.
I say it in jest. I say it in jest, not for you to respond.
Thank you, sir.
Next, Commission.
Yes, commission. It's just about there we have to make some slight amendments because we need the Local Government Service Commission established under Section 37. So the 6 instead of 36 is 37.
Which should be section 37. Is that it? Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So 36 becomes 37.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Any other on that page?
No, we're done for that page.
Page 3. Any?
Yes, just hold on, Mr. Chairman. That's something I'm trying to. Oh, yes, we're done. Page 3, we're fine.
Page 4.
Yes, page 4. We have clause 2, clause 2, where we have, of course, the National Electoral Commission. It has to change to Electoral Commission connect to the CSA. And of course, this amendment should be made wherever the phrase National Electoral Commission appears. Because we have other instances in the bill where there's echoes used.
So ECSL.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Even in sub clause 3, it's also clear. Page 5 is fine for my end.
Page 5 is okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Page 6.
Now, page 6. Clause 4, sub clause 1. There we have the change again. 1A, we have the chairperson. So we have to replace that with the district council chairman. We'll have to be doing that as we proceed in relevant areas.
Yes.
And we have a new insertion, a new B. It goes along as well as the deputy district council chairman. So there's some renumbering as a result of that because
Sorry, where?
yes, no.
Is it B?
Yes, we've inserted a new B. So as a result of that insertion, we have to renumber some slight rearrangement. So the current B becomes C, C becomes D, and so forth.
There's a new B.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And where is it?
You can find that in page 3. Page 3, under first 3, composition of local councils and election of councilors. Just under that topic, you can see the second paragraph was 4 sub 1 composition of local councils. We amended. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
To the deputy district council chair.
Yes. So and then we affect the money.
What to do no, what to mean?
And B becomes C, and so on. Is that it?
Yes.
And we'll end up with G.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Next.
And also F is just a the new F, previously E. We had their 4 chairman headman, it's now headmen, just the plural.
Yes.
Clause 5 be approved. No, I'm now in. I'm going too fast.
Mr. Chair, I just want some clarification maybe from you, Chairman. This headmen, as defined here, they are part of the council, and then they don't have voting rights. Assuming they have a decision regarding their own authority, there should be constitution that there is requirement for them to vote on that critical decision. What will be their fate? Mr. Chair.
Well, every locality, honorable member, every locality is not a council. So they should negotiate with their councillors for them to vote with what they actually negotiate. Well,
They are not elected councillors.
honorable member, I think
They are only co-opted. Co-opted members.
It's not defined as co-opted. It's not defined as
Co-opted.
It's not defined as
Likewise, the primacy.
That's why, well, you will sort of clarification why it's without voting rights. Because they are not elected, that's why they are there, but without voting rights.
I think this is not new. It's just the introduction of headmen to the city councils that appear to be new. But before this time, you have paramount chiefs in local councils, and this particular clause has been in existence. Like the chairman or the minister said, now during the discussion, if there's any issue to be discussed, it is the responsibility of the paramount chiefs to convince the councillors from their chiefdoms or their wards to vote in favor or against whatsoever is being discussed. But it has been there that they don't have voting rights. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not very confused because it has been there, I have not seen any result of why they have not been voting and also why they should not be voting. It has not been explained properly to me. Maybe that's the decision people have been looking at, and because they are not elected, as a critical decision said. So that's the reason. Because for me, it's not an inclusive decision.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, it was for a reason that the decentralization process allowed for paramount chiefs to be part of the locality where they are hosts, and for Western, urban, and rural to incorporate headmen. The rigorous elections the actual councillors went through before they become councillors, which should give them decision-making right, those co-opted did not go through that. So they are already number one to learn from their wisdom, like for the provinces. Most paramount chiefs are grey hair men. They have tremendous wisdom. They can advise the mayor or the chairperson or the CA. So because of what the writers or the drafters of this 2004 local government act had in view, that was why they are incorporated. But when it comes to crucial decision making, the rigorous elections those councillors went through, they did not go through it. They advised, but they cannot vote. This is how it has been, and it is not new in any case.
Mr. Chairman.
And in fact, when you look at paragraph under 2, they said subsection 1 shall apply to localities that have a system of paramount chieftaincy as stipulated under section 72 of the Constitution. So E shall apply to Freetown City Council, and F shall apply to Western Area Rural District Council. Each local council shall consist of not less than 12 members. So it's also based on the localities as we just mentioned. I just want to draw your attention.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I think like the Honorable Fonkono said, they were not part of the agreement, but since they are part of it now and they are co-opted, their decision or their voice cannot be heard at that point. They need to go through their councillors. For me, if that's the strong case you are building,
if that's the top policy ability, and that they should go through their councilors, and mind you, this is the political agreement. So one of if the headman and the councilor cannot speak on the same page, cannot be on the same page. So for me, if that has been the practice, then I don't see no reason why we should include them, because they are corrupted and they have not been there since inception, and they are just coming out as corrupted members, and their voice cannot be heard at a point where they have to take decision to vote. No, we are talking about two different agreements. We are talking about the provincial agreement and the Western Urban and Western Rural agreement, where we have headmen. For the PCs in the provincial areas is okay. But for the Western Urban and Western Rural, where we have headmen who have not been part of the system, part of this committee, are now part of it, and they are corrupted members, it doesn't make any sense, because they are not going to make any change. No change. They're not going to make any change. You are just called to me to come and sit and listen. At the point of the day, I won't vote. So for me, let's remain as it was before.
Mr. Chairman, I beg to differ that they are not going to make any change. They are going to make change. You not know their roles to peace dealing or conflict resolution. Most, I'm not clear. We already from my back. Most of the confusion normally have over sound mining. If the headman for that particular locality is involved, definitely, even before the CA or the chairman executes mining of sand, there will be peace or land issues, because he should have been part and parcel of that decision before the local councils. So saying that they are not rule, I beg to differ. They have.
I'm sure there are good reasons for including the headmen in this particular council, even though they are not given voting rights, but they do represent certain important things for them to be on the council. But maybe the minister may wish to.
Mr. Chairman, that's the relevance we want to hear from the minister. Mr. Chair, before the minister. Mr. Chair, before the minister, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As a former chairman for local government and rural development, I think when we are doing a consultation during the review of the policy, what came out very strongly, purely in the area of Western areas, rural and urban, is exclusion. The headmen, we are always thinking that they are not included in some of the issues the local governance system is talking about. And what is very clear, Mr. Chairman, is that the minister and team, after 18 years of the first act, I think they are doing their best to make sure that they bring a bill that will be inclusive of every stakeholder in each and every community. It doesn't mean that when you don't vote, you are not important. Mr. Speaker, you are a local man from BT. You can agree with me that in our local settings, when you are not included in even some discussions, SO2 people will say, not of the business, I'm not involved. They don't involve me. So this is the more reason why the ministry is working very hard to make sure they involve stakeholders across the board for them to be part and parcel. They are learning from one end to the other, because whenever development comes, they must participate. We will need them for our taxes. We will need them for peace, because chiefs are there to maintenance the law and order on daily basis. So I think they are very, very critical, and we really need to lead them in that particular position.
I'm sure nobody can question the importance of tribal headmen in the Western area. They play a very significant role. I'm sure the minister can confirm. Mr. Minister, over to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Members of Parliament, the aim of this revision was to actually address the inconsistencies that have existed for 17 to 18 years following the enactment of the 2004 Local Government Act. A very wide consultation process took place in all districts, the municipality of Freetown and also the Western Rural. And what we have here in front of you, honorable members, is a sum of consultations that were completed at that time. During this dispensation, tribal headmen and village heads have gained the sort of significance that they actually require to bring their voices to decision making. And when we talk about decentralization, it is actually about localizing decision making and ensuring that the varied voices at the local level are actually taken on board. And if that is the key purpose of decentralization, then tribal headmen and village heads, who are also leaders in their own right, in their communities, play a very significant and relevant role in governance. We do believe that they should be part of the discussion, even though they are elected, and at the time of voting, they would have influenced whatever it is for those decisions to be made. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we've dealt with bills here that we talked about corrupted members. When we talk about corrupted members, in most cases, in most of the bills we dealt with here, when we don't have quorum, then we now call members, and at that meeting, those members will not vote. So for me, attendance and participation are key. If you are inviting the headmen to be part of that committee, but at the end of the day, you say you want inclusive voice, but their vote cannot be counted. For me, it makes sense, but not more, because they are going to attend, but their participation is key to the decision that they take at that level. So if they are going through their councilors, let them remain at that point outside of the committee and not with their councilors. Their councilors that will now take their ideas and aspirations to the committee.
I think, frankly, what the minister is trying to convey to this house is the importance of those people as, if you like, channels of communication with their community. Because most times, decisions are taken by the council that need to be communicated, need to cascade down to tribal groups within the Western area. And who best can do that than the tribal head man himself? Even though he has no voting rights, but he has, a crucial role to play in that regard. It's all part and parcel of government.
Yeah. Yes. Mr. Chairman, the reinforcement of that, sir, is by voting.
No. It doesn't have to.
That
reinforcement to be elected.
Fine. So because of that, Mr. Chairman, we are sitting as MPs, we represent the people. Not all of them are coming here to sit here. They are passing their voices to us, and we take it to. Let's move to vote, Mr. Chairman.
I want to progress.
Let's move to vote.
If you see, yes, Chairman. Chairman, please. Yes, Chairman. Let me listen to you. Yes, Chairman. I think the argument is centered around voting, but the activities in the councils is not only based on voting. A lot of discussions are taken at unanimous, and the points or the submission of those headmen can be crucial there. So, I submit that they stay there because of their inclusion into those councils and committees are very relevant. Thank you. Yes, you are the last.
Yes, thank you.
If you insist to put it to a vote.
Yes, we don't really need to put it into a vote. I appreciate the concern raised by the honorable member, but again, I believe to a very large extent they might be missing the point. I think the objective of the ministry here is to get everybody included into decision making. In the past, what we've been having is some kind of information gap. Having the headmen and tribal men part of the council meetings, we actually ease communication to the community. What I see him doing is putting emphasis on voting, and voting is not the only way out. There are times the councils go ahead to have meetings, without actually voting. So the headmen are very strategic.
The only concern I want to send to the ministry, like if you look at the headmen, I mean, there is no proper structure where they meet on recurrent basis. I mean, like the headmen or the tribal men across. So what we need to do, I mean, I believe this structure is very much in place, but again, as a ministry, just to re-emphasize that the headmen do meet regularly, so that those who are fortunate to be part of the council meetings actually divulge whatever information they get from the council, so that they don't keep this information tacit to themselves. Yeah? So that is the only submission. But I believe having the tribal men, the headmen being part of council meetings are very much strategic and inclusive. So I go with it.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I know that was the last voice you want to hear. But the point is, I want to correct him. He has just made an erroneous submission. And the tribal headmen in the Western area don't meet. They meet, they have a council. The ministry recognize their council. They present a minute of their meeting to the ministry, and the ministry understand exactly how they meet, what decision they take. Whenever there is an issue, they will contact the ministry, or the ministry will contact them. So the tribal headmanship in the Western area is an organized system. The minister seated here has done so much that in the Western area, every tribe in the Western area has a tribal authority properly seated.
It's not only an organized system, it's a super organized system.
Mr. Chairman. Can we progress?
Look, let's not be difficult. I don't know about other tribal groups, but I know about my own. They've extended, in fact, arrogated to themselves powers that they actually don't have within the Western area. They even appoint sub-chiefs. They see themselves as the equivalent of paramount chiefs, and so on and so forth. Let's don't go into all of that, not to complicate the picture further. You want to insist? We're on page 9. Page 8.
Page 9, Mr. Chairman. Page 9, I have an issue.
I think, honorable members, just please allow me to make the minor changes and then we can continue. That's your understanding. Page 8, clause 7. The side note, tenure of office for councilors. The side note 4. Yes, and then also the side notes for clause 8, both to be taken by councilors, to add the word by. And then in clause 9, subclause 9(1)(c), if it's disqualified under subsection 4 of section 6. So
and you are sure about that reference 4, eh?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We can go back to.
No, if you are sure.
I'm sure.
You know my reason for asking?
Yes.
In the Public Elections Act, we made reference to the wrong subsection.
Yes, I remember.
And somebody went as far as, I don't know whether she went on the BBC, but definitely she went on the air and made a huge mountain out of a molehill out of it. So the references should be correct.
Yes,
so we're changing the 2 to 4.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'm done for page 8, so
Page 9, Chair.
Page 9?
Yeah, page 9.
Is there anything?
Yeah, clause 10(1).
Yes.
these nations give preference to two types of elections. I'm seeing by-election here, and based on the regulations laid today on the table, at a glance, I saw replacement of councillors rather than go through by-election. At a glance, when I watch at the regulation here, replacement of councillors rather than going through by-election. So we should take note of that. It's very important, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, on page 8, going down to page 9, I'm looking at clause 9.1. The side note reads vacancy in seats of councillors. Mr. Chairman, I hold the view that paragraph E is a little weak ground for a councillor to lose his or her seat. It says if he takes part in any deliberation on a contract in which he has a financial interest or vote on any decision concerning the contract. That is one issue I have. And coming down to 9.2, it says where a complaint is made to a local council, that councillor is disqualified. Mr. Chairman, I have a problem with the word disqualified, tying it with the side note vacancy. So if a complaint is made that you have sat on a contract or you have sat and voted on the contract of which you have financial interest, the word disqualified there, does it mean you are suspended until the decision of the arbitration committee comes out? Because if you read through 3, 4, 5, 6, it tells you about the procedure ending with you losing your seat.
Well, let us see what subsection 4 of section 6 says. What does it say?
Subsection 6. Mr. Chairman, 6 of 9 says a councillor who is talks about okay, let me read 5. Where the local council, after studying the report, a person.
No. Wait a minute. You are talking about clause 9, aren't you?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And clause 9C is your problem.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And you say you don't like the word disqualified.
Now the word disqualified is in clause 9.2.
He's talking about page 9.
Page 9 now. Because clause 9.2 is where a complaint is made to a local council, that councillor is disqualified pursuant to paragraph C, D, or E of subsection 1. The local council shall set up a complaint and arbitration committee to investigate that matter. So my question is the word disqualified. Does it mean suspension? Disqualified to sit? If you use the word disqualified as a councillor, it could also mean disqualified as a councillor. But the process of you being eventually removed from your seat is still ongoing by the arbitration committee.
Well, I would like to see what, for example, subsection 4 of section 6, what it says. And I turn over the page and it says on page 7, a person shall be disqualified for election to a local council if the person is employed by the local council, B, is unable to perform the functions of his office by reason of infirmity of mind or body, C, has been sentenced to death or imprisonment for an offense involving fraud, dishonesty, or violence, or has been convicted of an offense relating to or connected with elections under any enactment and has not received a pardon. That is the reference to section 6.4. And you quarrel with the word disqualified? I thought it's in place.
Mr. Chairman, what you've made reference to is qualification or disqualification to be elected as a councillor. What we are questioning here is you are already a councillor and you have done one of the forementioned things to remove you from your seat. Let's say I am a member of parliament, I have done something so bad that I have to be removed from my seat. So the word disqualified does it mean suspended? Because the process of removing that person still is going to be ongoing. So if you use the word disqualified, it still ties in as though it is disqualification.
This is what you're referring now to 9.2?
9.2, Mr. Chairman.
Well, why should the person be disqualified? He would be suspended. He's disqualified. I mean, he's disqualified on those grounds that I have read out.
He is a councillor. Investigations are pending, Mr. Chairman. He's already a sitting councillor. He's a sitting councillor who has, let's say, for example, been absent from sitting on 3 consecutive occasions without reasonable grounds, which is a ground for him to be removed from council. So if you have committed that offense, so if you say disqualified, assuming you are later vindicated, not found guilty of the offense, but you've already been disqualified. The word disqualified will be not fit to continue in that position. But
but the use of the word disqualified in 2, let's read it together. Where a complaint is made to a local council that a councillor is disqualified pursuant to paragraph C, D, or E of subsection 1. And when you go back to those paragraphs,
yes,
the word disqualified is correct.
Mr. Chairman, the side note is vacancy. And once you are disqualified, automatically the vacancy arises. So there is no more need for any process to be put in which will vindicate you or convict you at the end of the day. Because if they have said, once you commit these offenses, vacancy arises and stops it there, fine. But now they have set the motion in for investigation up to the point where if you are guilty, you will be either removed or not. Because the side note is vacancy in seat of councillors. So if I may just read, it reads 3 reads, a complaint and arbitration committee shall consist of independent persons recommended by the local council and appointed by minister. 4, at the end of the investigation, the complaints and arbitration committee shall submit report of their findings to the local council, and reports shall be made publicly available when the minutes of the council's discussions are made available. Where the local council, after studying the report, passes a resolution supported by not less than 2/3 of all members of council to that effect, the member shall cease to be a member of the council. A council.
That is at that point.
Yes, at that point. It's only at that point that a vacancy will exist. When 2/3 of councillors shall vote in favor of the report. But
if you see, there is maybe the minister can come and help us. If you want to replace the word disqualified with the word suspended, that means he's entitled to continue to receive his whatever remuneration until that decision is taken.
Mr. Chairman, if we use the word suspend, maybe we might now add a clause to say, while on suspension, the councillor shall remain on half salary until the report of the committee is out, or half sitting fee until the report of the committee is out. Because it's pending the outcome. Mr. Chairman, let's say anti-corruption, when they indict the public servant, the moment they are investigating the public servant, you are suspended on half salary. If you are indicted, you still remain on half salary. If you are convicted, then you totally stop receiving your salary.
Tell me something. You really want somebody who has been absent for 3 consecutive ordinary meetings, without reasonable excuse, and the only sanction that person should suffer is suspension, and to continue to receive half salary, etc., etc. Come on.
The chairman, I even wanted to increase 3 to 5.
No,
Mr. Minister, please.
Mr. Chairman, please, sir. Mr. Chairman, please. The clause that has to do with 3 consecutive sittings, that one had been definite, because 3 consecutive sittings without reasonable excuse mean being absent for 3 months. But there are other clauses, like he here says take part in a deliberation. It's like somebody says conflict of interest. That one can be investigated. But the one that has to do with 3 consecutive sittings, that one had been very definite and emphatic in councils. That once you absent for 3 consecutive sittings without valid
the law
excuse,
is very clear.
Yeah.
If you're a member of council, and council is deliberating on the award of a contract, and you know that you have an interest, you should disclose your interest or recuse yourself from those proceedings. Or you participate knowingly. Come on. Mr. Minister, please help us. Don't water these things down.
Yes, Honourable Speaker, I think all the honourable members have actually given reasons why you have such stiff measures. The vacancy side note is actually alluding to one, how it happens, the process of it happening. And the reasonableness is what we need to pay attention to. It says without reasonable excuse.
Just like members who are absent from this house.
Yes.
Without reasonable excuse.
And we must be very mindful.
And we have a 30-day rule.
We must be very mindful, Mr. Speaker, that these people are representing localities.
Exactly.
And they have a responsibility to ensure that they participate in decision making. And that's why they were exactly.
And they take their role seriously.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm not worried about the processes. I'm worried about the constituting the committee. Why should the committee, the decision of the council affect the same person also in the decision of that council has to be recommended, the committee has to be recommended by the council and then approved by the minister.
Yes.
But how independent does that be? How? Minister?
Well, I think my role there is very nominal. The committee is already.
Sorry, not you. Yeah. I'm worried about the council inside.
Well, there's
integrating somebody within the council, and the council has to set up a team recommending that independent individual.
And that is why the minister has to
oversee
that process. The council, the spirit behind this is that council should have local ownership of what is actually happening within their council. They put the team together of people they think are independent-minded people, and then the minister oversees whether they are actually independent. So there is a process of oversight.
Mr. Chairman, please. Sorry, the top clause 6(4)D Madam Minister, in your presentation the last time, under the disqualifications, being a practicing professional is disqualified. Mr. Chairman, I made my submission here, and let me be emphatic again.
Where be specific? Where are you taking us to?
6.4D at the top of page 8.
Yes.
That professionals should be disqualified from being councillor. Mr. Chairman, all development is being sent down to local councils. They develop the middle-term development plan, and the local council committees are expected to be very much effective. So somebody can be a professional medical officer or even teacher in his or her locality. So if people see that person to be a very good representative of them and decides to select, or if it is a first past the poll, vote that individual to represent them, I don't want us to make a law that will disqualify professionals from being councillors, because their contributions in councils or in even the committee levels or in doing oversight or in supervising projects will be very much effective depending on their already accrued skill or professional.
How do you understand it? Who is disqualified?
Now, if you
who is disqualified? It is this professional body that is disqualifying.
No, Mr. Speaker, what I'm submitting here is that as we speak, we have professionals in councils. But if we legislate it here now, it will become indicting on them.
What do you mean?
Professional side.
Africa, you now get the disqualification. Let's say you're a doctor. If you are medical and dental association says you are not fit and proper person to practice medicine.
To practice medicine, how can you become a proper person to be on council?
If you are a lawyer and the bar association says you are not fit and proper person, then you are disqualified in becoming a councillor. Just as panel.
This is standard provision.
Yes, Chairman.
Yes.
Page 9 plus 10A, 10.1, sorry.
Yes.
This one has a bearing with the just concluded document laid to this house, the local council's PR regulations. When vacancies occur in the local council, it is now in contravene. It contravenes what is now laid today. We've not discussed it, but I've seen a bearing there, 10A, where a vacancy will call that, if I could read 10.1, Chairman, whenever a vacancy occurs among the elected councillors, a by-election shall be held by the National Electoral Commission to fill such vacancies. Yes. So, what's the relationship there with the PR regulations? Mr. Minister, because we're not going to read this in accordance with the current elections method that we'll be doing in 2023. Has it any bearing with it?
If the vacancy occurs 6 months prior to the end, no by-election will be held. In other words, the movement to fill the vacancy will not occur. We've got 6 months to go.
Is it going to be by elections or the list that is presented? Okay, if that is the understanding, then
you move up the list, whoever is eligible.
Mr. Speaker.
But there will be no movement if the period left is only 6 months. That's what that provision is saying. Yes?
Mr. Chairman, time is past 3, and move that SO52 so that the business of the House will continue.
Right, thank you. Any second?
I so second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let's make progress. Page 10.
Mr. Chairman, just now, it's good that we spend some time there. Let me just move to make some correction because we already made that correction before. Sorry, sir. Just page 7, sub clause 4 of clause 6. C has been sentenced to death. That will there's some part of the report where we captured death will replace death with life imprisonment, or so it should read has been sentenced to life imprisonment or convicted for an offense involving fraud, dishonesty, sexual offense. So we just need to add life imprisonment, then convicted for an offense involving fraud, dishonesty, sexual offense. Then we continue.
Good. Can we move, please? Let's make subtraction here.
Yes, well,
page 10.
Page. Mr. Chairman, page 9, just a slight change that we've done before.
Which one? ECSL?
Yes, sir.
Okay, page 10.
Page 10.
Any?
Yes, page 10, clause 11. We've done that again, just a reminder, chairperson. Then 11.1, chairperson, same, and even 11.3 and 4. There we have to make some changes. Clause 11, subclause 3 and 4. Now we are going to use subclause 3 and 4 be amended to become the new clause 12. 11.3 and 4 becomes now 12.1 and 2.
So wherever you see chairperson, it is chairman. Is that what you are suggesting?
Yes, we are applicable with regards to this district aspect. But then 11.3 and 4 becomes 12.1 and 2 with the new side.
11.3 and 4 become what?
12.1 and 2 with the new side note to read functions of the district council chairman.
It becomes 12.1 and 2.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And the side note will read
functions of the district council chairman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we wasted. New clause to be amended by deleting paragraph C.
Then
we can
on page 10.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
We are deleting paragraph C.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Where it says oversee council, chiefdom councils in the performance of their functions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Delegated to them by the council.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And you replace it with what?
It will affect the numbering as well, you understand. That's what
we are deleting it entirely.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And then the numbering will change.
Yes.
Okay. That's all.
Now, as we proceed, you'll see on page 11, there we have 11.5. 11.5 be amended to become the new clause 13 because already 11.3 and 4 became the new 12.1 and 2.
Very well. And what's the side note?
The side note: vacancy the office of the district council chairman.
Vacancy
of the office of the district council chairman.
Is no vacancy in the office?
Vacancy in, yes, vacancy in. When they form the report.
Of district council chairman.
Then, of course, it's now 13. We can go straight to that 5D. We make the same changes we made just now with regards to life, imprisonment, and the sexual penetration aspect. Indeed.
Life imprisonment or conviction for
life imprisonment for an offense involving fraud, sexual penetration, dishonesty, or violence. So here we just add, we're replacing death with life imprisonment with life.
I thought you should now read the chairman is sentenced to life imprisonment or convicted for an offense involving blah blah blah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Next, page 12.
Yes, now in page 12, hope you're taking note of the numbering. Page 12 now, clause 12 becomes 14.
Yes.
Then be amended, okay, it's now 14. And then 14 sub clause 1. To replace the phrase the local council, and it should now read. Let me just show how it should now read. Subject to subsection 2, the district council chairman may be removed from office by a council resolution supported by 2/3 of the councilors on any of the following grounds. So, by replacing the phrase the local council by a in the second line,
now I'm lost.
Look at page 5 of the report, gives you the whole rendition. Page 5 of the report. What should be in 12 in now what we call 14.1, which was previously 12.
So within 7 days, etc.
No, we're talking about
14.1.
14.1, the new 14.1, because it was 12.1. Now it has changed to 14.1.
Okay, subject to subsection 2.
Yes.
The DCC will be removed from office by councilors supported by 2/3.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Of the councilors on any of the following grounds.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So that's it, and even in now we move to page 30.
And the grounds should be the same.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, before we move to the next page, I'm here, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I have a concern about the new clause 14.1c now, where we have gross incompetence.
Yes.
Who determines this, and what's the definition of the gross incompetence here?
And here you're emphasizing the incompetence as gross. I know yesterday we passed the law, didn't we? Where the ground was just incompetence. You remember? You remember that law?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Chairman, added the word cost to the amendments we made to the ECSMP on misconduct. So it's now gross misconduct.
What about yesterday? We did not add gross.
Gross was already there. The person was asking for a definition.
To incompetence?
No, to misconduct.
To misconduct, yes, but incompetence. You remember that word?
Yeah, I remember. And somebody was asking for a definition.
Exactly. Well, here we're qualified. And that one was what? Was it the I think it was, if I remember right, the Deputy Speaker was the one talking about the incompetence bit. But it was just incompetence, a standalone incompetence. Yes. It was not qualified.
But this one is qualified.
This one is qualified gross.
Yesterday we did the amendment for that.
We did not. I wish we had.
No, well, in fact, we only.
Mr. Speaker, I was alone against the House.
I know. So, what are you suggesting now? We keep gross or we leave it incompetent? Gross. All right. Okay.
This way it becomes extremely serious. Yeah, page 13.
Yes.
Sub plus 4.
Yes.
We change in the third to last line findings to form.
To report his findings, huh?
Yes.
Not funding.
No, not funding.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, for also, I have problem with the word prima facie case. I would have wished the prima facie to be removed for us to leave it just with the word case. Because when you use prima facie, it's just at the surface. It's just at the surface, and it is about the removal of the chairman. So I want the evidence to be considered to be actual evidence as that one that is received in the court of trial. Mr. Chairman, it is like preliminary investigation in a criminal case. At preliminary investigation level, what we need is prima facie evidence. But at trial, it's evidence beyond doubt. So I would love it, the prima facie to be removed, and we will leave it to the word case. It's about the removal of the whole chairman, Mr.
I agree.
Thank you.
Because that is going beyond the preliminary finding.
Yes.
That there is a case. Yes, page 13. Any other?
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, I want to take you back. I was consulting the Constitution. The issue of removal of the chairperson and the inclusion of the offence of sexual offence. I am sure it is a slight modification to the provision for disqualification of members of parliament under the Constitution. In which case, if we intend to add, it means we are making an amendment to the Constitution quietly.
Which one?
On the report, I think it's clause 14.
There are two areas. Because there we have the sentence to death, which of course, based on the current trend, death, we no longer have the death penalty. That's also life imprisonment. Yes, and then of course the need to include sexual penetration. So he is against the sexual penetration.
Where is the word sexual penetration?
Well, that was what it was on the report.
Mr. Chairman, you already have sexual offense act. You already have it. You don't need to state it. If you're involved in sexual offense, you're not going to be a different charge. So bring the important in it here to don't complicate matter. It's already a crime for any sexual penetration.
Okay.
Unlawful sexual penetration.
Can we go back to page 12, please? Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Page 12D. Gross misconduct. Why don't we just stop there?
Fine.
And not import the word misbehavior.
Yeah, I think it's well in place. In this case, we can get rid of the misbehavior aspect.
Good. Where are we now? 13.
Yes.
Anything else on 13?
Yes, in page 13, in the subclause, there are 9 and 10. I remember vividly we had a discussion with this during the deliberation, but maybe it was an oversight in the report because 9, which says, where members of the local council pass a resolution for the removal of the chairperson supported by the votes of not less than 2/3, of all members of the council, the chairperson shall cease to hold office. But at some point, Mr. Minister, I think we said 2/3 of all councillors. Instead of all members of the council, we said all councillors. So that's what.
Wait a minute. You said here, no, what is here is 2/3 of all members of the council.
Yes, so in that regard, in the case of all members of the council, it should be 2/3 of all councillors. Instead of all members of the council, because there are members there without voting rights, so that's why it's limited to only councillors who will vote in that particular aspect. So instead of all members of the council, so that's why all councillors. Well, more so the reason why we have to look at it, because here it says all members of the council. So, yeah, so that's why I brought
and you are changing it to what?
So,
on the elected councillors, instead
of
I'm
asking the chair.
Yes, you can modify less than 2/3 of all councillors, then you can add elected councillors or everybody.
No. Frankly, you made no difference whatsoever. Go to the definition of councillor. Councillor means a member of a local council. Whether you are voting or not voting, you are a member of the council.
Mr. Chairman is still the same, so we can still remain with, because we are just asking to replace it with councillors, thinking otherwise, so it's still the same.
Well then, maybe you want to qualify it by saying the elected members.
Yeah, well, I think we'll go with that qualification.
No. There is a differentiation. The elected ones are the ones with voting rights.
So, Mr. Chairman, we'll go with all elected councillors, and I think we'll do the same for clause 10, which has members of local council will go again not less than 2/3 of all elected councillors.
Refer me again, which clause, which paragraph?
The 10, it's the last paragraph in page 13.
All elected members of the council.
Yes, so all the members of the local council, so we'll go again with all elected councillors, like we did in...
Elected members of the council, let's leave it as that.
Well, okay, fine, Mr. Chairman. Elected members of the council.
Does it appear in 10 as well?
Yes.
Okay. 14. Page 14.
14 is fine from this end.
15.
15. 13. Let's go with the old. Just the changes, the usual changes, and deputy chairperson.
Yes, okay.
Yes, but then we, somewhere in the report, wherein we have the side notes, because we're going to get the side notes now.
We can take care of that in the drafting.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, please, on this, in this bill, clause 14, but on the committee report, clause 16, on the area which it says on rotational basis that a local council shall hold ordinary meetings at least once every month on rotational basis. The issue of rotational basis, Mr. Chairman, is that there are some communities when we are in the peak of the rainy season, July, August, September, there are some communities that are very difficult to reach. So as it had been, councils have been rotating. When we approach October onto July. But if you tag it on rotational basis, which means even July, even August, even September, it can be compulsory to operate on rotational basis. There are some communities.
What clause are you referring to?
In the committee report, in the whole report, there is nothing like rotational basis.
Which whole report? There is no whole report.
So in the instant law in 14, it reads the local council shall hold ordinary meetings at least once every month at such a place and time as the chairman may determine. That one is very correct. But when you go to the committee report, it says the district council chairman, a local council shall hold ordinary meetings at least once every month on rotational basis at such time and place as the district chairman may determine. So this issue of rotational basis is my concern.
It's not the same. During the deliberation, the spirit behind us was, you understand, to bring the people, to bring the members of the council closer to governance and ensure that the others that don't have the opportunity or that have the opportunity to move in all the time can also play the host role.
Can we leave that to the chairperson? Let's leave that to the chair. Let's leave that to the chair. Page 16.
15.
15,
sir, yes. I'm not very comfortable with 13, 1, 2, and 3. If the chairperson has been removed and the deputy is actually doing his or her job for 5 years, how can you run the job for 5 years and you still remain to be acting instead of being the chairperson instead?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Shall we read it?
Yeah, read it.
Okay. There should be a deputy chairperson for each local council.
I'm sure the word "should" is not there.
There shall be. For each local council who shall be elected as running mates to the chairperson by universal suffrage of the locality. 1. Subject to the Act, the deputy chairperson shall hold office for a period of 5 years.
Yes.
This person is still acting.
No. Where does it say that? It says subject to this act.
Yes.
Not acting.
When the person is when the chairperson has been removed or
no. Subject to this act, the bill act, when it becomes act, a law.
Then number 3, the deputy chairperson shall assist the chairperson in the performance of his function and act in the absence of the chairperson.
Correct.
Yeah, but why continue to act?
No, madam, you are misunderstanding it.
How?
I'm sorry, madam, you are misunderstanding it altogether. We will make progress. See me in my chambers, I'll explain. Page 16.
Mr. Chairman, page 16. In page 15, we just need to get something clear under meetings. 3, we just made some slight change there. Just read what is in the report. The district council chairman, or in his absence, the deputy district council chairman, or in his absence, a councilor appointed by the councilors from among themselves shall preside at meetings of the council. Here we have the chairperson, or in his absence, the deputy chairperson, or any councilor appointed by the councilors from among themselves shall preside at meetings. So it's just the word any. So you can look at the rendition there, just some slight modifications, not going to change anything that much.
Okay.
Page 16.
Yes.
Sub clause 6 there. All members of council with voting rights. We just need to add that aspect with voting rights. Again, that's what you can look at it carefully, honorable members. We're talking about the quorum here. The quorum for a meeting of a local council shall be half of all the councilors, provided that where a local council holds a meeting to discuss financial matters, the quorum for such meetings shall be 3/4 of all members of the council with voting rights. Because already we started talking about elected members of the council, so that was the reason more or less to voting rights aspect.
Okay.
All other issues in page 16 are fine, just
hold on.
Just numbering.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I hear a voice.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I see us battling with elected members in terms of voting and what have you within the council. Why not we have voting rights being defined under the preamble? That when we talk about voting, we define voting instead of us putting all elected members of the council, 2 and 2. Wherever we are voting, if voting is defined in the preamble.
You ask I see.
I've been here, Mr. Chair. If we define voting from the preamble.
Were you here? Were you paying attention?
Of course. Chair, as I'm saying, let's define voting from the preamble. So we are not saying voting.
No, not necessarily. Please, I beg, don't take it back. Don't take it back.
No, because you keep repeating elected members of the council, elected members of the council. Because even the primary chiefs are elected, and if they come to council, they are elected members.
Page 17.
Mr. Chairman, page 17. The side note on 18, committees of local council, we add the word of. And then sub clause 2 to add
Where are we? Page 17. Chair. 17. Page 17.
Yeah, we're on page 17. The first one, committees of local council, the side notes, and then 2, without prejudice to subsection 1, the local council shall establish. We're going to insert a new D, audit committee. We have ABC, then the new D for audit committee.
Sorry, take me again.
in page 17,
yes.
you can see all numbering 18.1.2, we have ABC. We are going to insert a new D.
Yes.
That is audit committee.
Through the chair, Mr. Chairman, sorry sir, instead of the new D being audit committee, like we have our standing orders, and we suggest that we have any other relevant committee, because we have a agriculture committee, we have health committee, we have environment committee, we have disaster management committee, we have welfare committees in council. So if we have 1, 2, 3, we can just add any other committee that may deem relevant. I think Mr. Minister wants to speak to that.
How do you? Okay, Mr. Minister, you have the floor.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Member, I think I want to crave your indulgence that this becomes a standing committee, not one to be decided by the council as you go along. Because audit issues have become very, very important nowadays in local councils, and even our development partners are actually requesting that we have an audit amalgam within councils as a standing committee rather than an ad hoc one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But like then it becomes a standing committee. But what about, because we have education committees, agriculture committees, welfare. So should we add another to say any other committee that may seem relevant? Mr. Speaker, may need your response to that.
Mr. Chairman, just to help, if you can just add any other relevant committees, then I think we can improve this one.
No, let us be clear. What the minister is saying, you're going to have standing committees, and that is now being provided for. No, that is being provided for in 82. Am I right?
You're right, Mr. Chairman.
Those are standing committees.
Yeah, well, when you look at 18.1, again,
it's broad enough.
It's just a local council may appoint committees. So
exactly. So any other committee can come under that.
So,
but
I think his point was maybe to make provision for that any other committee.
No, what I'm saying, any other committee is captured under 18.1. 18.2 seeks to capture standing committees, statutory committees. Those ones have to stand to be there.
Fine, Mr. Chairman.
And that's what I understood the minister to be saying just now. Shall we go?
Mr. Chairman, but it is important. I want to really allude to the former chairman of my district council, former deputy chair of my district council. It is important. I think there are emerging issues. We should be futuristic in making these laws. Who knows whether climate change will come to us because of the interest of the world. The world is spending so much on climate change. Who knows? Because of the money poured on climate change, it will take it very important to be involved, set to the local councils. So we should actually put up futuristic lens rather than leaving it very limited.
It is captured.
Yes.
Let us read one together, and you see there.
It's a big
one says, no. One says, a local council may appoint committees consisting of councillors performing any functions determined by the local council. 18.2. Without prejudice to subsection 1, a local council shall establish 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are statutory. They must establish those. What you are now envisaging, outside of those statutory ones, additional ones are captured by 18.1. The language there is broad enough.
If you look at the local government and the extant law, there are always few staff that they very argue credence to. Most of the staff, they only employ them after around 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14.
What staff are we talking about now?
No, I'm talking of staff, the extant law. This is just committee. I'm talking of the extant law. It only gives credence to limited staff. Somebody can even challenge your committee is illegal. It is not in the act. So for us to provide for that discussion, we should give leverage. Let them stabilize the clause. Any other?
Which one?
The committee.
What is your understanding of 18.1? Read it again, please.
A local council may appoint committees consisting of councilors performing any function. I'm still struggling with the grammar. Any function. Any in English refers to only one. But I'm saying any functions. I'm afraid you are Cambridge read. Maybe you have.
It is correct there, please.
Any functions.
Any functions.
Any. Really. Any functions. Determined by the local council. Any function determined by the local council.
Yeah. It can be climate as you suggested.
For me, it is very, Mr. Chairman. Sorry to say that. It's like if it is any other hand,
Page 18, Mr. Chairman. Page 18.
Yes, page 18. Page 18, thank you. Go ahead.
Page 18. On the C's, the subclause C there, we add a new one, Roman figure 1, own source.
Which C?
C from 19.1C, but remember in the new number it's going to be 21. But let's just keep it at 19. 19.1C. So now one starts with central government, but we're going to have a new one which says own source, then the numbering goes and so on to the central government and its agencies. Then
so one would be own source.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and then the rest of the numbering continues in that order.
And then one becomes 2.
Yes, sir.
And 2, 3.
Yes.
Yes. And then 4.
Yes, page 19J. Just after budget, it should read, approve the annual budget of chiefdom councils and oversee the implementation of the budget submitted through the district officer, because it was agreed that in the deliberations.
Submitted through the
district officer.
The district officer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Then I'm sorry.
Which district officer? The DO?
Yes, the spirit behind that was not to create that vacuum. That budgets are just taken from that level and then without any involvement of the district. So the chiefdom should link up with the district then for further submission. Then again, sorry to page 18, where we have we'll just arrange the numbers. 3, the new numbering should be national and international non-governmental organization. This is page 18. In the list where we have own source 1, 2, we have 3, which says now national and international organizations. It has to be national and international non-governmental organizations. So we need to add words there, non-governmental.
Yeah.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
20.
Page 20 is fine from this end. Page 21, 20, 21 are all issues of numbering, renumbering, which we can do later.
Good. 22.
Mr. Chairman, page 20, sir. Just take one, sir. 21.2. You realize there's a Latin maxim which says delegatus non potens delegare. That is to say, a delegated function cannot be further delegated. Now, if you look at 21, it is saying the council reserves the right to delegate some of its functions as they may determine.
And for the edification of the house, you don't put SO2. I mean, sorry. We want to understand.
Repeat it that you want.
Non-protest delegate.
The delegate cannot
be delegated. So what I'm trying to say, Mr. Chairman, if you look at 21, it is saying the council reserves the right to delegate any of its functions to either the chief of council or anybody. And in 22, they further actually went ahead to actually state those functions that cannot be delegated. So now my question is, you know, some of the functions of the local councils are being devolved to them by other line ministries. So those delegated functions by other line ministries to the local councils, can they be further delegated? So we need to clarify that. We need to make it very clear here. Because they already have delegated functions as local councils. You know?
Wait a minute. Be careful how you use the word delegate now. What I understand from the central government, they are devolved functions.
By implication, devolved.
No. Devolved functions is not the same as delegated functions.
I understand, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Devolved functions are functions which previously were discharged by the central government. Now, central government has thought it fit that those functions are better now discharged by the local councils, so they are devolved, not delegated.
Central government through ministries.
No, they are devolved.
Ministries are central government. I know, but again, ministries are central government. I know. The ministry, those are the core functions of those respective line ministries, which they cannot.
You take those functions away from yourself and give
it to somebody to do.
It's not, you are not delegating.
But if you look at some other clause, that the council is also stating that the line ministries reserve the right to monitor and give policy direction to those devolved functions. Because it is clearly stated that they have the right to direct those the councils with regards policy direction, monitoring, and guidance. Not all. The ones that have been devolved to the council, that is what I'm talking about. Because even in the bill, it is being stated that the line ministries reserve the right for policy direction. So if you depend on the line ministry for policy direction, monitoring, ensuring compliance and performance of those devolved functions by implicit terms, those are delegated duties.
These delegated powers are being done by virtue of this act. That is why it started with the opening sentence. Subject to this act. Read on.
Mr. Chair, sir. In fact, the policy direction and council is the responsibility of the ministry. That's his constitutional responsibility. You can't change it. You cannot. So what do? They delegate some aspect of their function.
They are using the
but they retain the. But they retain.
That is the point.
What is the point you are making?
I think the point is making, Chairman, that is misunderstanding the word line ministry. Line ministry is the ministry of local government. It's not the ministries that are devolving functions to the councils. So, as per the constitution, like the other gentleman has just submitted, in section 62, this line ministry, the Ministry of Local Government, is responsible for overall direction for agencies that operate under them. And as a ministry, local government ministry, the biggest agency that operates under them is the local council. So that is why they are the line ministries, that line ministry referred to in this act. It is not all the ministries of government.
And if I may reinforce, what 20 is referring to is the delegation here has to be inconsistent with the provisions of this act. That's why it says subject to this act. Do you understand that?
Well, I'm trying.
Shall we go on?
I'll try.
Mr. Chairman, if you understand better, for example, page 22, 28D. 28D. 28? D, yes.
28?
Yes. Clause 28, page 22.
Okay, oh, you are moving ahead.
So I heard you say page 22.
Well, I wanted to do 21. Are we to chair legislative?
Where are we?
20 is okay,
Yeah.
21 is okay.
Yeah, we're done with 21. We're done with 21.
22. Yeah.
Yes, 22. 28. We're adding a new E.
Mm-hmm.
That has to do with monitoring of projects. It's in the report page 8 top. Monitoring of projects in its ward through the Ward Development Committee and make recommendations for the attention of the local council.
Very well.
That's the new insertion.
23.
No, yes, sir, Chair.
Yes.
B, before the E.
Yes.
Promote communal and other development activities in the locality. This is the core function of the councilor before this time. But our experience today, communities no longer do communal work. And if we make it a law, it becomes part of the KPIs of the councillors. And there is no councillor that will pass this particular after assessment or assessing his KPI. Because the notion there in communities now, everything is monetized. You don't give money to communities, they don't undertake development or communal work. So I wanted to digest this one and look at it properly, Mr. Minister. How? Which angle do you want to take it? Is it going to be part of the councillor's duty? Or there will be any support with regards to this one?
But you have no doubt that communal work is developmental.
I do agree, Chairman. The reality, the experience we have now in communities.
Well, imbued in the community a sense of duty to do development work. That is it.
And it becomes a key performance indicator for the councillor. But it does not work. Can he be held responsible for not performing his duty?
There is no punishment there. 23. 23.
23. We're looking at the top sub paragraph B. We're going to add a few. We're going to make a few insertions. The new rendition there is district council chairman and deputy district council chairman shall be paid with salaries, allowances, benefits, pensions, and gratuities from the consolidated fund as determined by the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Local Government. What we have.
That's what page of the report?
It's in page 8 of the report. The second paragraph.
Okay. And that becomes the new B?
Yes, that becomes the new B.
Just make progress.
Okay. Still in page 23, we have in clause 30, 2, we add in a new D because we have ABC, a new D to read technical advisor to the local council in consultation with relevant professionals.
Technical advisor
to the local council in consultation with relevant professionals.
To the local council?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. In consultation.
Yes.
With relevant professionals. At council level.
In consultation with relevant professionals.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What else?
That's it for page 23.
24.
24 is fine for my end.
25.
25. We're going under the clause 32 there. The sub-clause 2, we're just making some on the appointments on the advisory committee. So to amend A, now A, we have a representative of the commission. So it's going to read 2 commissioners instead of a representative of the commission. Still, we are still on page 8 of the report. You can see all.
The representative of the commission.
Yes, it's going to change. A, B, and C, they are all going to change. They are all in the report, the new edition. It's going to be 2 commissioners, one of whom shall be the chairman appointed by the commission, instead of just the representative of the commission.
And they're all on page 8.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they're all on page 8.
Fine. We'll start.
Still page 25. Clause 32(4). 32(4) be deleted.
Okay.
Yes, 32(4) be deleted. Then we're done with page 25.
26 now.
Yes, now we'll go to page 26.
Yes. Anything there?
In page 26, these are all just changes, renumbering, which can be done. 26, page 26, 27, it's all renumbering. Till even page 28 is just renumbering.
Okay.
And till page 30.
Okay. All renumbering.
Yes.
Very well.
It's in page 30 now, it's a remuneration.
Where?
In
Which part?
Page 30, remuneration, the side note.
Yes.
So now we're making some slight changes.
Page 30, you say?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
There we're just replacing the phrase members of the commission. Now the new rendition should be the chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of section 41.
Chairman and other members.
Yes, that's not in page 9. The chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of 41.
And that's on what page of your report? Page 9?
Page 9, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
The chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of section 41. Let me check that reference. Yes, it's correct because 41, because that's where we have commission.
Okay.
Yes. We are between clause 40 and 41, Mr. Chairman. But leader, what you're saying there is the already renumbered version, so what we are using the old one, so just to guide you on it. So the chairman and other members appointed under subparagraph E of section 41 shall be paid remuneration determined by the minister after consultation with the minister responsible for finance. That's what we have there. So that
31.
Yes.
Page 31.
Page 31 is just renumbering. Page 32 we're just renumbering there.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Move.
Eddie. Okay. Yes, I do want to.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I move that parts 1 to 6 clauses 1 to 46 stand part of the bill as amended.
Honourable members, the question is that parts 1 to 6, clauses 1 to 46 stand part of the bill as amended. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Parts 1 to 6, clauses 1 to 46 form part of the bill as amended.
Yes. No. This is a convenient point for us to stop.
Thank you.
And let us now resume.
The House resumes.
Any announcement? Honourable members, the House stands adjourned to tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th of November at 10 a.m. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Minister, you are relieved. Please. Thank you.
Councilor, Mr. Speaker, when the minister is coming to Mr. Minister. The anointing, the